Made a moocher have to pay. So I got this group of friends from my old job. We all moved on to different places, but we still meet up every couple months to grab food and just catch up. Nothing crazy, just regular hangout stuff. Last year, this dude Mike started showing up. He's friends with one of the guys in our group and seemed cool at first. Problem is, Mike's got this thing where he orders way more expensive stuff than everyone else and then goes, "Let's just split the bill evenly," at the end. First time it happened, I was like, whatever. It wasn't that bad. Maybe $20 difference total. Second time, though, Mike ordered a whole $20 more than anyone else at the table. Like he got appetizers, the most expensive main dish, extra sides, the whole deal. And then when the bill came, he just assumed we'd split it. I should have said something, but I hate making things awkward, so I just paid my part of the split bill even though I basically subsidized half his meal. Fast forward a few months and I got a raise at work. Pretty decent one, too. I wanted to celebrate with the guys, so I suggested we hit up this steakhouse for lunch. They got a lunch menu that's way cheaper than dinner, so people wouldn't have to drop a ton of money. Everyone was down for it. Mike was especially into the idea. Big surprise there, right? So I'd been seeing posts online about this exact situation, and everyone kept saying the same thing. Tell the server before you order that you want separate checks. That way there's no awkward conversation at the end. So that's what I plan to do. Day of the lunch comes around and we all show up. Server comes over to take drink orders and I'm sitting at the end of the table. Before she leaves, I'm like, "Hey, just so you know, we're gonna do separate checks for everyone." She said no problem and wrote it down. Everyone starts ordering. Most people got the lunch special or a sandwich or whatever. Pretty normal stuff. Then it gets to Mike and dude orders the steak and lobster combo. Like the most expensive thing on the entire menu. Not even the lunch menu. The full dinner menu. I'm watching this happen and I'm just thinking, yeah, that tracks. I ordered last since I was at the corner. Right before I ordered, I looked around the table and was like, "Hey, everyone cool with separate checks? I'm gonna splurge a bit since I'm celebrating and I don't want to make you guys pay for my meal." Everyone's nodding and saying, "Yeah, that makes sense." Everyone except Mike. He got this look on his face like I just told him his dog died or something. Didn't say anything, but you could tell he was pissed. I went ahead and ordered the prime rib. Been wanting to try it and figured why not, since it was my celebration. Plus, I wasn't worried about the price, since I wasn't splitting it with anyone. Whole lunch, Mike barely talked to me. Like he'd laugh at other people's jokes and chat with the rest of the group. But whenever I said something, he'd just kind of grunt or look at his phone. Real mature stuff. Food comes out and everything looks amazing. Mike's steak and lobster plate was huge. Probably cost him close to $60 just for the entree. My prime rib was perfect. Cooked exactly how I wanted it. We're all eating and catching up about work and life and whatever. Someone asked about my raise, and I talked about how the new position came with better pay and more responsibility. Mike didn't say a word during that whole conversation. Just kept cutting his steak and looking annoyed. Bill time comes around and the server brought everyone their own check like I'd asked. Mike picked his up and I swear his face went pale. He just sat there staring at it. Finally, he looked up and said, "My card got declined last week. New one's in the mail. Can someone spot me?" My buddy Jason started reaching for his wallet. Before he could, I said, "You got Venmo right now, though?" Mike's face went red. "Yeah, but I hit my daily limit. So Venmo Jason $20 right now. Send the rest tomorrow." Mike looked around the table. Nobody moved. The server stood there with the card reader. "We're supposed to be friends," Mike said. "Friends help each other." My phone buzzed. Text from Derek across the table. "Mike posted Instagram story 2 hours ago buying sneakers at the mall. Check your Instagram," I said to Mike. "The story from Foot Locker today." His face went completely white. Ran his card. It went through fine. We walked out and Mike left without saying bye. Jason pulled me aside in the parking lot. "Mike's been doing this to me for months. He borrowed $300 for car insurance last month. Said he'd pay me back in a week." Jason looked sick. I saw him at a casino 2 days later. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Is this about Mike?" A woman's voice, exhausted. "Because if you're calling about money, he owes you." "Get in line." I stood there in the steakhouse parking lot with Jason staring at me, phone pressed to my ear. The woman on the other end sounded like she'd been crying recently, but was now just completely done with everything. "I'm sorry, who is this?" I asked. "Vanessa, Mike's ex-wife. Well, soon to be ex. Papers are being filed next week." She let out this bitter laugh. "Let me guess, he borrowed money? Or stuck you with his bill at a restaurant?" "Both, technically. How did you get my number?" "I didn't call you. You called me. This is Mike's phone." I pulled my phone away from my ear and looked at the screen. She was right. I'd accidentally hit call back on a missed call from earlier that morning. Must have been Mike trying to reach me before lunch. He left his phone at home when he went out today, Vanessa continued. Probably on purpose. It's been ringing all morning. Debt collectors mostly. But I figured I'd start answering because I'm petty and I want everyone to know what they're dealing with. Jason was mouthing, "Who is it?" at me. I held up one finger. "How much does he owe you?" I asked Vanessa. "Me, personally? We had a joint credit card he maxed out without telling me. $19,000. The statement came to our apartment last month. I thought it was fraud until I saw the charges. Sports memorabilia, casino cash advances, bottle service at clubs I've never been to. Jesus. That's not even counting the other stuff. He took out a loan against his car and hasn't made a payment in 4 months. They're gonna repo it any day now. He owes his brother $8,000. His parents won't even talk to him anymore after he stole his mom's jewelry and pawned it last year." I felt sick. His mom's jewelry? Told them someone broke in. They found the pawn shop receipt in his jacket pocket 3 weeks later. Jason's eyes were getting wider as he listened to my side of the conversation. Derek and the other guys were standing by Derek's car watching us. "Why are you telling me all this?" I asked. "Because I spent 6 years covering for him, making excuses, taking out credit cards in my name to pay his debts. I refinanced my car twice. I'm 32 and my credit score is in the toilet." Her voice cracked. "I'm telling you because I wish someone had warned me. I'm sorry you went through that." "Yeah, well, now you know. If he calls you asking for money, don't give it to him. He won't pay you back. Ever. It's not about being broke. It's about the thrill of getting away with it." She hung up before I could respond. I walked back over to the group and told them everything. Derek's face went from surprised to angry to resigned in about 30 seconds. "I lent him $200 last month," Derek said, "for his electric bill. He said they were going to shut it off. He told me he needed money for his nephew's birthday present," said Brandon, another guy from our group. "Gave him $75. We all just stood there in the parking lot doing the math. Between all of us, Mike had probably mooched close to $2,000 over the past year. $20 here, a split bill there, a borrowed $100 that never got paid back. So what do we do?" Jason asked. I thought about it. We cut him off, completely. "He's not invited to anything anymore." "But he's my friend," Derek said, though he didn't sound convinced. "We've known each other since college." "Then you need better friends," I said. "Look, I'm not saying burn his house down. I'm saying we're done being ATMs. Next time we meet up, he doesn't get the invite." Everyone agreed, though Derek looked uncomfortable about it. We all headed home. That should have been the end of it. 2 days later, I got a text from Mike. Long paragraph about how I embarrassed him at lunch, how real friends don't do that to each other, how he was going through a hard time and I made it worse. He said Jason had been blowing up his phone with accusations and it was my fault for starting drama. I didn't respond. Then he texted again. "I know what you did. Vanessa told me someone called my phone and she answered. That was private information. You're spreading lies about me." Still didn't respond. Third text came an hour later. "Fine, be that way, but you're gonna regret this." That one I screenshot and sent to the group chat. Jason immediately replied. He sent me the same thing. Derek, too. And Brandon. Mike was mass texting all of us with the same threatening message, which would have been scary if it wasn't so pathetic. Then things got weird. The next day at work, my desk phone rang. Internal call from reception. "Hey, there's someone here to see you," Brielle at the front desk said. "Says his name is Mike Cordero and you're expecting him?" My stomach dropped. "I'm absolutely not expecting him. Did he say what he wants?" "He's asking to speak with your manager. Says you owe him money and you're not returning his calls." "Are you kidding me right now?" "Brielle, I need you to tell him I'm in a meeting and not available. And then I need you to call security if he doesn't leave." Already texted Jamal. He's on his way up. I grabbed my phone and texted Jason. "Mike just showed up at my work trying to talk to my boss about the lunch thing." Jason's response was immediate. "What?" Then my work email pinged. Message from my manager, Cole. "Can you come see me when you have a minute?" I walked down to Cole's office, trying not to panic. He was mid-40s, former military, generally a reasonable guy, but not someone you wanted to piss off. "Close the door," he said when I walked in. I sat down across from his desk. There was a framed photo of his 2 daughters behind him, both in soccer uniforms. "So I just got a very interesting visit from someone named Mike. Says you borrowed money from him and you've been dodging his calls." Cole leaned back in his chair. "Want to tell me what's actually going on?" I explained everything. The mooching, the lunch, the separate checks, the ex-wife's phone call. Cole listened without interrupting. When I finished, he nodded slowly. "So this guy's a con artist, basically. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but he stole from his own mother. He's 19 grand in debt on credit cards that aren't his. He showed up at your workplace to try to intimidate you into giving him money. That's a con artist." Cole picked up his desk phone. "I'm calling the police. He's trespassing." "Is that really necessary? He came to your place of employment and lied to try to damage your professional reputation." "Yeah, it's necessary." Cole made the call. 20 minutes later, 2 cops showed up and took statements. Jamal from security had already escorted Mike out of the building, but he'd apparently stood in the parking lot for 15 minutes staring at the entrance before finally leaving. The cops said they'd go talk to him. They took down all my information and the information about everyone else Mike had been targeting. Said it sounded like a pattern of behavior that might qualify as harassment. I went back to my desk feeling completely drained, and it was only 2 in the afternoon. That evening, I got a call from Derek. "Mike's girlfriend just contacted me on Facebook," he said. "You're not gonna believe this." "What now?" "She says Mike told her we all bullied him out of the friend group because he's Mexican and we're racist." I had to sit down. He said, "What?" "Yeah. She's going off about how we ganged up on him at the restaurant and humiliated him in front of everyone because of his background." Derek sounded exhausted. "I sent her screenshots of all the Venmo requests he never paid back. All the texts asking to borrow money." She stopped responding. "Who is this girl?" "Her name's Talia. They've been dating like 3 weeks according to her profile." 3 weeks, and Mike was already trying to weaponize her. That was fast even for him. But wait, it gets worse. The next morning I woke up to 17 notifications on Instagram. Mike had tagged me, Jason, Derek, and Brandon in a long post about fake friends and toxic people. Didn't name names directly, but anyone who knew us would know exactly who he was talking about. The post was full of lies. Said we'd invited him to lunch just to humiliate him. Said we'd made fun of his financial situation and laughed about it. Said we'd been spreading rumors about him around town. He had like 200 likes on it. People I didn't even know were commenting things like, "You deserve better," and "Those guys sound awful." Jason screenshot it and posted a response thread with receipts. Every Venmo request Mike had ignored. Screenshots of texts where Mike asked to borrow money. Even a screenshot of the Instagram story Mike had posted at Foot Locker 2 hours before, claiming his card was declined. The comment section on Mike's post turned into a war zone. People started recognizing a pattern. Turned out Mike had pulled similar stuff with other people who started chiming in. A girl named Simone commented, "Mike borrowed $400 from me last year for car repairs and blocked me when I asked for it back." A guy named Troy commented, "This dude tried to get me to co-sign a loan for him after knowing him for 3 weeks. Hard pass." More and more people kept adding their stories. Mike's post went from a sympathy grab to a public exposure in under 2 hours. He deleted it by lunchtime, but people had screenshot it. It was too late. Derek texted me, "I think we might have accidentally destroyed his entire social life." I didn't feel bad about it. That weekend, Vanessa texted me. Yeah, I'd saved her number after that first call because I had a feeling this wasn't over. "Mike's been evicted," she said. "Landlord finally had enough. He's been 3 months behind on rent. Where's he gonna go? Not my problem anymore, but I figured I'd let you know in case he tries to crash with any of you." Sure enough, that Sunday night, Derek got a call from Mike asking if he could stay on his couch for a few weeks. Derek said no. Mike tried Jason next. Also no. Then Brandon. Still no. Then Mike tried me. I let it go to voicemail. He left a 5-minute message about how he was sorry for everything, how he'd been going through stuff and made bad choices, how he just needed a place to stay while he got back on his feet. Said he'd changed. Said he'd pay me back for everything. I deleted it without responding. Monday morning at work, Cole called me into his office again. "Police came by on Friday afternoon," he said. "Talked to Mike. He's got a restraining order against him now. You, Jason, Derek, and Brandon are all protected. He can't come within 500 feet of any of you, or he'll be arrested." That seems extreme. He showed up at Jason's apartment Saturday night banging on the door at 1 in the morning. Neighbor called the cops. That's what pushed it over the edge. Cole handed me a copy of the restraining order. "Keep this with you. If you see him anywhere, call the police immediately. Don't engage." I tucked the paper into my bag, feeling like I was in some kind of alternate reality. 2 weeks ago, this guy was just an annoying moocher. Now he had a restraining order. Things went quiet for about a month. Mike's Instagram went private. His Facebook disappeared entirely. I heard through Derek that he'd moved back in with his parents 2 hours away. Then I got a LinkedIn message from Mike's brother. "Hey, I know this is random, but I'm Mike's brother Samson. Derek gave me your info. I wanted to reach out and apologize for everything my brother put you through. I've been covering his debts for years and I'm done. Our family's done. I just wanted you to know that we're not all like him, and I'm sorry he dragged you into his mess." I messaged back thanking him. We ended up talking on the phone that night. Samson was apparently a tax accountant, married with 2 kids, complete opposite of Mike in every way. "I gave him $8,000 last year," Samson said. Thought I was helping him get his life together. He spent it in 3 weeks. Casino, mostly. Some on clothes. When I confronted him, he said I was being controlling and cut me off for 6 months. How long has he been like this? Since high school. Maybe earlier. My parents just kept bailing him out. They refinanced their house twice to pay his debts. Finally told him last month they're done. That's when he got evicted. Is he getting help? Like therapy or something? He won't go. Says there's nothing wrong with him. Says everyone else is the problem. Samson sighed. I've tried everything. Our whole family has. He just keeps burning bridges. We talked for almost an hour. By the end, I felt bad for Samson. He'd spent his whole adult life cleaning up Mike's messes and had finally hit his limit. After we hung up, I sat there thinking about how many people Mike had hurt. His ex-wife with destroyed credit. His parents who refinanced their house. His brother who gave him thousands of dollars. All our friend group who'd been nickel and dimed for months. The girlfriend Talia who he'd lied to and manipulated. And Mike saw himself as the victim in all of it. 2 months after the restaurant incident, Jason texted the group chat. Mike's girlfriend just messaged me asking if any of the stuff he told her was true. What'd she ask? Brandon replied. She said Mike told her we beat him up at the restaurant and that's why he has a restraining order against us. What? Derek sent. Yeah, I sent her the police report. She's reading it now. 10 minutes later, Jason updated us. She broke up with him. Said she found out he'd been using her credit card without permission. Racked up $2 grand in charges. Poor Talia. 3 weeks of dating and now she was probably going to be fighting credit card fraud charges. That's when I realized Mike wasn't going to stop. He was going to keep doing this to people until someone either pressed charges or he finally faced real consequences. I called Vanessa. Have you talked to a lawyer about the credit card debt? I asked. I've got a consultation next week. Why? Because Mike's doing the same thing to his new girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend now. If we all file reports, maybe the police will actually do something. Vanessa was quiet for a moment. You think it'd work? I think if enough people report the same pattern of behavior, they can't ignore it. I'm in. Over the next week, I coordinated with Vanessa, Talia, Samson, and our friend group. We all filed police reports detailing Mike's financial manipulation and theft. Vanessa and Talia both filed reports about credit card fraud. Samson provided documentation of the money Mike owed him. Jason documented the $300 Mike borrowed and never returned. The detective assigned to the case was a woman named Officer Rains. She called me to ask questions about the pattern of behavior. This is more common than you'd think, she said. Financial predators who target their social circles. Usually they move around a lot so they can keep finding new victims. But it sounds like Mike stayed in one area long enough that you all connected the dots. What happens now? We investigate. Talk to everyone involved. If we have enough evidence of fraud and theft, we can press charges. No guarantees, though. Another month went by. I'd almost forgotten about the whole thing when Officer Rains called me back. We're pressing charges, she said. Multiple counts of fraud, identity theft for the credit cards, and theft. Mike's being arrested tomorrow. I sat down hard on my couch. Seriously? Between all the reports and the documented evidence, we've got a solid case. His ex-wife's credit card statements alone are enough. But all of you coming forward showed a clear pattern. That helped a lot. I called Jason immediately. He called Derek. Derek called Brandon. We all group called Vanessa. She cried on the phone, not sad crying, relieved crying. I've been living with this debt for months, thinking it was my fault for not catching it sooner, she said. Knowing he's actually facing consequences is I don't even know. It's everything. Mike was arrested the next day at his parents' house. Bail was set at $50,000. His parents refused to pay it. He sat in county jail for 2 weeks before his public defender got him out on a payment plan. The preliminary hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks out. Vanessa, Talia, and I all planned to testify. Samson said he'd provide financial documentation but couldn't take time off work for the actual hearing. During those 6 weeks, Mike tried everything. He sent letters from jail to Derek apologizing and begging him to drop the charges. Derek sent them to his lawyer. He had Talia's roommate try to contact her asking her to reconsider. Talia blocked the roommate. He even tried to have his mom call Vanessa to ask her to drop the credit card fraud charges as a favor. Vanessa told Mike's mom exactly what he'd done to her financially and hung up. The day of the preliminary hearing came. I took the morning off work. The courthouse was downtown, all gray concrete and security checkpoints. Vanessa was already there when I arrived, sitting on a bench in the hallway looking nervous. Talia showed up 10 minutes later with her sister for support. Mike's public defender tried to get the charges reduced, arguing that these were civil matters, not criminal. The prosecutor, a tired-looking woman with a massive stack of files, shut that down immediately. The defendant used stolen credit card information. That's not a civil matter. That's identity theft. He wrote checks from accounts that weren't his. That's fraud. He took money under false pretenses with no intention of repayment. That's theft. These are criminal matters. The judge agreed. Mike was held over for trial. Bail was increased to $75,000. Still couldn't pay it. Back to county jail. The trial itself didn't happen for another 4 months. Legal system moves slow. During that time, Mike tried to take a plea deal twice. Prosecution rejected it both times because he refused to admit fault. He wanted to plead guilty with no admission of wrongdoing, which apparently isn't how it works. When trial finally came, it lasted 3 days. Day 1 was jury selection and opening statements. Mike showed up in a suit that was too big for him, looking like he'd lost weight in jail. His public defender was young, maybe just out of law school, and you could tell she knew this was a losing case. Day 2 was testimony. Vanessa went first. She brought bank statements, credit card bills, text messages, walked the jury through finding the $19,000 statement and realizing what Mike had done. Several jurors looked disgusted. Talia went next. Her testimony was shorter, but just as damaging. She'd known Mike for 3 weeks when he asked to borrow her credit card for gas. She'd said yes because she thought they were building something real. He charged $2,000 and then broke up with her when she confronted him. I went last. I kept it simple. Described the pattern of mooching, the restaurant incident, the workplace harassment. The prosecutor had me walk through every Venmo request Mike had ignored, every time he'd borrowed money and never paid it back. Mike's defense was basically that we were all lying because we didn't like him. His lawyer tried to paint us as bitter ex-friends who ganged up on him. Didn't work. The evidence was too clear. Day 3 was closing arguments and deliberation. Jury came back in 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was set for 3 weeks later. Mike's mom was in the courtroom crying. His dad sat stone-faced. Samson didn't come. At sentencing, the judge gave Mike 3 years. Could be reduced to 18 months with good behavior, plus restitution. He owed Vanessa $19,000, Talia $2,000, Jason $300, plus court costs and fees. Mike's lawyer asked if he could pay in installments. Judge said sure, once he gets a job after release. Mike was taken back to county jail to be processed and transferred to state prison. As they walked him out, he looked back at the courtroom and locked eyes with me for just a second. He didn't look angry. He looked confused, like he genuinely couldn't understand how it had come to this. That was 8 months ago. Vanessa's credit is slowly recovering. She got a better job and moved to a new apartment. We text occasionally, mostly just checking in. Talia moved back in with her parents for a while to save money and pay off the credit card debt. She's doing better now, though. Started seeing someone new. Jason, Derek, Brandon, and I still meet up every couple months. We joke about the Mike situation sometimes, but mostly we've moved on. We've got new people in our group now, people who pay for their own meals. Derek feels guilty sometimes. He still thinks maybe we could have handled it differently. I remind him that we tried. We all tried. Mike didn't want help. He wanted enablers. Last week I got a letter in the mail. From Mike. Prison address on the return label. I almost threw it away without opening it. But curiosity got the better of me. It was 3 pages. Handwritten. His writing was messy, like he'd written it fast. He apologized. Actually apologized. Said being locked up gave him time to think about his choices. Said he'd started going to therapy in prison because he had nothing else to do. Said his therapist helped him understand he'd been treating people like ATMs because he felt like he deserved their money for putting up with him, which was the most backwards logic I'd ever heard, but at least he was examining it. He said he knew we'd never forgive him. Said he didn't expect us to. Said he just wanted us to know he finally understood what he'd done. The letter ended with, "I've got 18 more months in here. When I get out, I'm moving to a different state, starting over. I won't contact any of you again. I'm sorry for everything." I read it twice, then put it in a drawer. I don't know if Mike's really changed. Maybe prison therapy is actually helping him. Maybe he's just saying what he thinks I want to hear. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. Jason asked if I was going to write back. I said no. There's nothing to say. Mike made his choices. We made ours. Everyone's living with the consequences. Sometimes Derek still brings up the restaurant day. "Remember Mike's face when you asked about the Instagram story?" He'll say, and we'll all laugh because it's funny now that it's over. But at the time, it was terrifying. Watching someone spiral like that, realizing how long they'd been taking advantage, understanding that some people will burn every bridge they have and still blame everyone else. The friend group's different now. Better, I think. We're more careful about who we let in. We split checks without question. We pay attention to patterns. And when someone new shows up and tries to pull the "let's just split it evenly" thing, we shut it down immediately. Because we all learned the same lesson. Being nice doesn't mean being a doormat. And real friends don't drain your wallet while smiling to your face. Vanessa texted me last month with an update. Mike's parents had to sell their house. Too many refinances, too much debt. They're renting now, downsizing. His mom apparently had a breakdown over it. I felt bad for them. They'd spent decades enabling their son, and it destroyed their retirement. But that's the thing about patterns like Mike's. They don't just hurt the person doing it. They ripple out. They damage everyone close enough to get caught in the blast radius. Talia's engaged now to a guy who apparently insists on paying for everything because his ex used to steal from him. She says they're working through their respective money traumas together. I'm happy for her. Samson sent me a LinkedIn message a few weeks ago, just checking in. Said he'd started going to therapy too, working through the guilt of enabling Mike for so long. Said his therapist told him it's common for family members to get trapped in that cycle. I asked how his parents were doing. He said they're managing. Still angry at Mike, but starting to accept that they can't fix him. I think about that restaurant day sometimes, Samson wrote. If you hadn't called him out, he'd still be doing it. He'd have found more victims. Maybe what happened was necessary. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't spend much time thinking about it anymore. Life's too short to waste energy on people who see you as a transaction. The friend group went back to that same steakhouse last month. Different server. No drama. Everyone paid their own check without being asked. Derek ordered a steak. Jason got the salmon. Brandon tried the duck. I got the prime rib again because it was still just as good as I remembered. We sat there eating and laughing and catching up like we always do. Nobody mentioned Mike. He was just gone like he'd never been part of the group at all. And honestly, that's exactly how it should be. Sometimes people show you who they really are. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do is believe them the first time and walk away. I've still got that letter from Mike in my drawer. Haven't looked at it since the day it arrived. Maybe I'll throw it away eventually. Maybe I won't. It doesn't really matter either way. The restaurant incident taught me something important. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. You can't force someone to be a better person. All you can do is protect yourself and the people you care about. Mike made his choices every single day. He chose to mooch off friends. He chose to steal from family. He chose to manipulate people who trusted him. He chose to play victim when he got caught. Those were his choices, not ours. We just stopped letting him make those choices at our expense. And that's all you can really do sometimes. Draw a boundary. Enforce it. Move forward. The end. Actually, no, not quite the end. Because 3 months after that last friend group dinner, I got another call from Officer Rains. I wanted to update you, she said. Mike's up for early release. Good behavior. He'll be out in 6 weeks. My stomach dropped. He served less than a year. Prison's overcrowded. Non-violent offenders are getting released early if they participate in programs. Mike completed the financial literacy course and anger management. Checked all the boxes. So that's it? He's just out? He'll be on probation for 3 years. Has to pay restitution. Can't leave the state without permission. 1 violation and he goes back inside. Officer Rains paused. But yeah, basically he's out. I thanked her and hung up. Then I called Jason. Mike's getting out, I said. When? 6 weeks. Jason swore. Does Vanessa know? I don't know. Should I call her? Yeah, she'll want to know. I called Vanessa. She answered on the second ring. He's not supposed to be out for another year, she said when I told her. Her voice was shaking. Good behavior. I'm sorry. He's gonna come looking for me. For all of us. You know he is. He's on probation. If he violates the restraining order, he goes straight back to jail. You think that's gonna stop him? Vanessa laughed bitterly. He showed up at your workplace. He banged on Jason's door at 1 in the morning. A piece of paper isn't gonna stop him. She had a point. I called Officer Rains back. What happens if Mike violates the restraining order? He gets arrested. Probation gets revoked. He serves the rest of his sentence plus additional time for the violation. And if he harasses us but doesn't technically violate the 500-foot rule? Document everything. Record conversations if your state allows it. Single-party consent here so you're good. Build a case. If it becomes a pattern, we can pursue additional harassment charges. Great. So basically, wait for Mike to do something and then deal with it. Awesome plan. 6 weeks later, Mike got out. I know because Derek's girlfriend saw him at Target. He was with a woman Derek's girlfriend didn't recognize. They were shopping together, looked couple-ish. Mike saw Derek's girlfriend and literally turned around and walked the other way. At least he's avoiding us, Derek said when we talked about it that night. For now, Jason said. He was right to be skeptical. 2 weeks after Mike's release, Brandon got a Facebook friend request from a profile that looked fake. Generic name, no profile picture, barely any information. Brandon accepted it because he's too trusting. Immediately got a message. Hey, Mike Cordero says you owe him money. He's going to take you to small claims court if you don't pay. This is your only warning. Brandon screenshotted and sent it to the group chat. It's him, Jason said. Has to be. Can we prove it? I asked. We couldn't. The profile was too new, too generic. Could have been anyone. Brandon blocked the profile and reported it to Facebook. Nothing happened. Then Talia got a message on Instagram. Different account. Same basic threat. Mike says you lied about him in court. He's got a lawyer now. Pay what you owe or get sued. Talia blocked and reported. Then Vanessa got a letter at her new apartment. No return address. Postmarked from 3 towns over. Inside was a single sheet of paper. You ruined my life. I'll ruin yours. Watch your back. Vanessa called the police. They took a report. Said they'd investigate. Officer Raines called me the next day. The handwriting matches other samples we have from Mike, but he's not dumb enough to put his return address, and technically, he didn't threaten violence, just said he'd ruin her life, which could mean anything. So what do we do? Wait. Document. Hope he screws up. I hated that answer. Another week went by. Nothing happened. We all started to relax a little. Then I came out of work one evening and my car had a flat tire. Just one. Driver's side rear. I called Topo, got it changed. Didn't think much of it until Jason called me that night. I had a flat tire today. Driver's side rear. My blood went cold. When? This afternoon. I was parked at the gym. I had the same thing. Same tire. We called Derek. He'd had a flat 2 days ago. Driver's side rear. Not proof, but not a coincidence either. I called Officer Raines again. Mike's slashing tires. Can you prove it? 3 of us have had flats in the past week. All the same tire. All driver's side rear. Security cameras in any of the parking lots? I checked with Jason and Derek. No cameras where Derek's gym was located. Jason's apartment complex had cameras, but they were pointed at the entrance, not the parking spaces. My work parking lot had cameras, but they were broken. Had been for months. Of course. I'll talk to his probation officer, Officer Raines said. See if there's any way to verify his whereabouts when the tires were slashed. But without direct evidence, there's nothing I can do. That night I went online and ordered a dashboard camera. The kind that records when the car's parked and detects motion. Brandon and Jason ordered the same ones. 2 weeks went by with no incidents. We all started to think maybe Mike had gotten bored or scared. Then Brandon's camera caught something. 3 in the morning. Brandon's car parked outside his apartment. Figure in a hoodie walked up, face covered. Circled the car once, tried the door handle, locked. Stood there for a minute looking in the windows, then walked away. Brandon sent the video to Officer Raines. She sent it to Mike's probation officer. They brought Mike in for questioning. He denied everything, said he was home asleep. The woman he'd been living with, the one Derek's girlfriend saw at Target, gave him an alibi. His girlfriend vouched for him, Officer Raines told me. And we can't prove the person in the video is Mike. The face is completely covered. What about the build? The height? The way they walk? Not enough. Any halfway decent lawyer would tear it apart. So Mike was stalking us, and there was nothing anyone could do about it unless he actually did something violent. Great system we've got. The friend group started being more careful. We varied our routes home, parked in different places, told people where we were going. Vanessa bought pepper spray. Talia moved back in with her parents again because she was scared to live alone. All because Mike couldn't accept that he'd faced consequences for his own actions. Then one night I was leaving work late, around 8. I'd stayed to finish a project that was due the next day. Parking lot was mostly empty. I got to my car and something felt wrong. Driver's side rear tire. Flat again. But this time I looked around carefully before calling AAA. Looked under the car, in the back seat. Nothing. Then I saw it. On my windshield. Under the wiper blade. A folded piece of paper. I took a picture of it with my phone before touching it. Then I carefully pulled it out using the corner. Unfolded it. You cost me everything. I'm going to cost you the same. This is just the beginning. Same handwriting as Vanessa's letter. I called Officer Raines immediately. She met me in the parking lot 20 minutes later. Took the note, bagged it as evidence, checked the parking lot for cameras. Still broken. This is escalating, she said. Direct threat on your property. Written evidence. I'm bringing him in. His girlfriend's just going to alibi him again. Maybe. But I'm also going to talk to the DA about revoking his probation. Pattern of harassment. Violation of the restraining order spirit, if not the letter. Let me see what I can do. Officer Raines left. I waited for AAA, changed my tire, drove home looking in my rearview mirror every 30 seconds. 2 days later, Mike was arrested. Probation violation. The DA argued that even though he hadn't physically come within 500 feet of any of us, the pattern of harassment violated the spirit of the restraining order and the terms of his probation. Mike's public defender argued that there was no proof Mike had done any of it. The judge looked at all the evidence: the letters, the videos, the flat tires, the threatening messages from fake accounts. "I see a clear pattern here," the judge said. "And while individually these incidents might be deniable, taken together they paint a picture. Probation is revoked. The defendant will serve the remainder of his original sentence." Mike freaked out, started yelling about how it wasn't fair, how we'd all conspired against him, how he was the victim. 2 bailiffs had to escort him out. He's been back in state prison for 4 months now. No early release this time. He's got 14 months left to serve. Vanessa moved to a different state. Fresh start. She sends me memes sometimes. We're not close, but we're friendly. Talia got therapy for the trust issues. She's doing a lot better. Her and her fiancé set a wedding date. The friend group is back to normal. We met up last week at a new barbecue place. Everyone paid their own check. Nobody even mentioned it. Derek still feels guilty sometimes about Mike going back to prison. I remind him that Mike did this to himself, every step of the way. Jason got a promotion at work. Brandon started dating someone new. Life goes on. Sometimes I think about that first lunch at the steakhouse. The moment I decided to call out Mike's behavior instead of just going along with it. Part of me wonders what would have happened if I'd just paid my share of his bill like always. If we'd all just kept enabling him. But I know what would have happened. He'd still be doing it. Still finding new victims. Still taking advantage of anyone who let him. At least this way he's forced to face consequences. Forced to sit in a cell and think about his choices. Maybe it'll stick this time. Maybe it won't. Either way, it's not my problem. I protected myself and my friends. We all drew boundaries and enforced them. We did what we had to do. And if that makes us the bad guys in Mike's story, I can live with that. Because in my story, we're the ones who stopped letting someone take advantage of us. And that's all that matters. Or at least, that's what I thought. Fast forward 8 months. Mike's been out of prison for 2 months now. Served his full sentence this time. No early release, no good behavior credits. Just straight time. I know he's out because his probation officer called me as a courtesy. Said Mike was required to stay at least 1,000 feet from all of us. Said if we saw him anywhere near us, call immediately. The first month after his release was quiet. Too quiet. Made me nervous. Then Brandon ran into Mike's brother Samson at a coffee shop downtown. Samson pulled Brandon aside and told him everything. Mike got out and couldn't find work. His criminal record made it impossible. Nobody wanted to hire someone convicted of fraud and theft. He'd applied to over 40 places in 2 months. Got 2 interviews. Both turned him down after the background check came back. His girlfriend, the one who'd given him the alibi, kicked him out 3 days after he was released. Turned out she'd only stayed with him because he told her we'd framed him. Once he got out, and she saw that he still had no money, no job, no prospects, she was done. Mike's parents wouldn't let him move back in. They'd sold their house because of his debts, remember? They were renting a 2-bedroom apartment and barely getting by themselves. No room for their adult son who'd destroyed their finances, so Mike was living in his car. A beat-up Honda with 200,000 miles that Samson had given him out of pity. "I feel bad for him," Samson told Brandon. "But I can't help him anymore. I've got my own family to take care of. My own kids' college funds to rebuild after I gave him all that money." Brandon told us all this at our next friend group meetup. "Part of me feels bad," Derek said. "Like, maybe we went too far." "He stole from his own mother," Jason said. "He destroyed Vanessa's credit. He manipulated Talia. He harassed all of us. He did this to himself." "I know," Derek said. "But he's living in his car now, so he can go to a shelter, get social services involved, find a program that helps ex-cons get back on their feet." I wasn't budging on this. Our sympathy doesn't change what he did. We dropped it and moved on to other topics. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not because I felt guilty. I didn't. Mike had earned every consequence that came his way. I kept thinking about it because I knew this wasn't over. Someone that desperate doesn't just give up and move on. They make one last play. And I was right. 3 weeks later, I got a call at work from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "This is Grayson Vale from Channel 7 News. I'm working on a story about the criminal justice system and how it fails people trying to reintegrate after prison. I came across your case involving Michael Cordero, and I'd like to get your side of the story." My stomach dropped. "How did you get my name?" "Public court records. Your testimony was part of Mr. Cordero's trial. I've spoken with him extensively, and he's told me his version of events. I'm trying to get a balanced perspective. I'm not interested in being part of a story. I understand. But Mr. Cordero claims that you and your friends conspired to send an innocent man to prison over a restaurant bill. He says the charges were all fabricated, that you manipulated evidence to frame him because you didn't like him. That's completely false, and you know it if you've actually read the court transcripts. I have read them, but Mr. Cordero presents as very sympathetic. He's homeless. He can't find work. He claims he's being blackballed because of false charges. If I run this story without your input, viewers are only going to hear his side. I felt trapped. If I talked to this reporter, I was giving Mike exactly what he wanted. Attention, a platform, a way to paint himself as the victim. But if I didn't talk, he'd control the entire narrative. Let me think about it, I said. I need an answer by tomorrow. We're airing the segment this weekend. He hung up. I immediately called Jason, then Derek, then Brandon, then Vanessa. We all got the same call. This reporter had contacted all of us, even tracked down Talia through social media. I already told him no, Vanessa said. I'm not relitigating this in public. Mike was convicted. The evidence was overwhelming. End of story. But if we all say no and Mike's the only one talking, people are going to think he's the victim, Jason said. So what do we do? Brandon asked. We decided to reach out to Officer Rains. She couldn't comment on an ongoing case, but she could point the reporter to the court records and the evidence that led to Mike's conviction. I also called Sampson. Did this reporter contact you? I asked. Yeah, I told him everything. How Mike stole from me, from our parents, how he's been doing this his entire adult life. Sampson sounded exhausted. I'm done protecting him. If he wants to go on TV and lie, fine. But I'm going on record with the truth. That made me feel slightly better. The segment aired that Saturday night. Local news. I watched it at home with my girlfriend Paula, who I'd started dating a few months earlier and who knew the whole Mike saga. The piece started with Mike sitting in his car, looking thin and defeated, talking about how hard it is to find work with a criminal record, how he'd made mistakes but was trying to turn his life around. Then it cut to the reporter walking through the story, Mike's version first, painting us as vindictive ex-friends who set him up over a petty dispute. Then Sampson's interview, calm, factual, devastating. He laid out years of Mike's behavior, backed it up with documentation, then clips from the trial, Vanessa's testimony, the credit card statements, the evidence that couldn't be disputed. The reporter tried to give Mike a chance to respond, asked him directly about the credit cards. Mike fumbled, said those were mistakes, said he'd planned to pay it back, said he didn't know what he was thinking. Then the reporter asked about his mother's jewelry. Mike's face changed. He got defensive, said that was a family matter, said Sampson shouldn't have brought it up. But you did pawn your mother's jewelry and tell your parents someone had broken in, correct? That was years ago. I was different then. This was 2 years ago, Mr. Cordero. 2 years before the restaurant incident that led to your conviction. Mike didn't have a response to that. The segment ended with the reporter basically saying that while the criminal justice system does make reintegration difficult, Mike's case showed a pattern of behavior that predated his conviction and raised questions about his claims of being falsely accused. My phone started ringing immediately. Friends who'd seen it, co-workers who'd seen it. Even my mom called asking if I was okay. The segment went semi-viral locally, got shared on Facebook a bunch. The comments section was split. Half the people felt bad for Mike. Half the people saw right through him. But the damage was done. Mike had wanted attention and sympathy. He'd gotten attention, but not the sympathy. Because once people saw the evidence laid out, saw Sampson's interview, saw the court records, it was pretty clear that Mike wasn't a victim of the system. He was just facing consequences. A week after the segment aired, I got another call from an unknown number. This time, it was a guy named Terrence who ran a nonprofit that helped ex-cons find work and housing. I saw the news story, he said. I reached out to Michael to see if we could help him. Our program specifically works with people who've served time and need support getting back on their feet. That's good. He needs help. He turned us down. Said he didn't need charity. Said he just needed people to stop conspiring against him. Terrence sighed. I've been doing this work for 15 years. I can usually tell within 5 minutes if someone's genuinely trying to change or if they're just looking for someone to enable them. Michael's the latter. Why are you telling me this? Because he mentioned your name. Said you were the ringleader of the people who destroyed his life. Said once you were dealt with, everything would go back to normal. Terrence paused. That sounded like a threat to me. I thought you should know. I thanked him and called Officer Rains immediately. He's on probation for another 2 years, she said. If he's making threats, that's a violation. But I need more than a third-party report. I need something direct. So I just wait for him to do something? Document everything. Stay alert. Hopefully he's smart enough not to violate probation. He wasn't. 2 weeks later, I was leaving the gym around 9 at night. It was dark, parking lot mostly empty. I got to my car and noticed something on the windshield. Another note. My hands were shaking as I took a picture of it before touching it. Pulled it out carefully. You think you won. You didn't. I've got nothing to lose now. Watch your back. I called the police right there in the parking lot. Officer Raines met me at the station. I gave her the note. Same handwriting as before, she said after examining it. I'm issuing a warrant for his arrest. Probation violation. Direct threat. How long will it take? He'll be picked up within 48 hours if he's still in the area. Mike was arrested the next morning. He was at a gas station filling up his car. Cops rolled up and took him in without incident. At the probation hearing, Mike tried to claim he didn't write the note. Said someone was framing him again. The judge asked for a handwriting sample. Mike's hands were shaking too much to write clearly. The judge took that as an admission of guilt. Probation was revoked. Mike was sentenced to an additional year for the violation. As they led him out of the courtroom, he looked at me and mouthed, "This isn't over." That was 9 months ago. Mike's in prison now. He'll be there for at least another 15 months. Maybe more if he causes trouble inside. I've moved on with my life. Got a promotion at work. Paula and I moved in together last month. The friend group is stronger than ever. But sometimes I still think about Mike. About how one person's refusal to take responsibility for their actions can spiral into years of consequences. About how enabling someone isn't helping them. It's just delaying the inevitable. About how sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone face the natural consequences of their choices. Mike had so many chances to change. So many people tried to help him. His family, his friends, even complete strangers like Terrence who ran that nonprofit. He rejected all of it because accepting help meant admitting he'd done something wrong. And Mike never thought he was wrong. He thought everyone else was the problem. I got a letter from him last week. From prison. I almost threw it away without opening it, but I read it. It was different from the last letter he sent. Angrier, more bitter. He blamed me for everything. Said if I'd just split the bill that day at the restaurant, none of this would have happened. Said I'd ruined his life over $60. That's what he still doesn't get. It was never about the $60. It was about the pattern, the manipulation, the lies, the theft, the complete disregard for anyone but himself. The $60 was just the moment I decided to stop enabling it. And yeah, maybe if I'd split that bill, he'd still be out there mooching off people and manipulating his way through life. But eventually, someone else would have called him out. Eventually, the consequences would have caught up. It just happened to be me who triggered it. I didn't ruin Mike's life. Mike ruined Mike's life. I just stopped letting him ruin mine. The letter's in the trash now. I'm not responding. There's nothing to say. Mike will get out eventually. Maybe he'll have learned something. Maybe he won't. But either way, he's not my problem anymore. And that's exactly how it should be. The friend group met up yesterday. New Thai place downtown. Everyone paid their own check. Derek made a joke about it and we all laughed. Remember when we used to just split everything evenly? Brandon said. Yeah, and we all ended up paying for Mike's fancy meals, Jason said. Best decision we ever made was separate checks, Derek said. We all agreed. And as we left the restaurant walking to our cars, talking about the next meetup, I realized something. The Mike situation had changed us, made us more careful, more aware, more willing to speak up when something felt wrong. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes the worst experiences teach you the most important lessons. Like how to spot a user before they can use you. Like how to set boundaries and enforce them. Like how to recognize the difference between helping someone and enabling them. I learned all of that from Mike. So in a weird way, I should probably thank him. But I won't, because Mike doesn't deserve my thanks. He deserves exactly what he got. Consequences. And the knowledge that he did it all to himself. That's the real end of the story. No dramatic confrontation. No revenge plot. No satisfying moment where Mike finally admits he was wrong and apologizes. Just a slow, steady accumulation of consequences until the person who'd been taking advantage of everyone finally had to face reality. And you know what? That's enough. Sometimes justice isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's just making sure people can't keep doing the same harmful things over and over. We did that. We stopped Mike from hurting more people, and we protected ourselves in the process. That's all you can really do. Draw your boundaries. Enforce them. Move on. The rest will take care of itself. Actually, there's one more thing I should mention. About 6 months ago, Vanessa called me out of the blue. I need to tell you something, she said. She sounded nervous. What's up? I met someone. We've been dating for a few months. It's getting serious. She paused. I told him everything about Mike. The debt, the manipulation, all of it. I wanted to be completely honest. That's good. What did he say? He said he appreciates me telling him, said it shows I've learned from it, said it doesn't change how he feels about me. Sounds like a good guy. He is. Really good. Another pause. But here's the thing. He asked if I was okay with how everything went down. If I had regrets about pressing charges. About testifying. What did you tell him? I told him, no. No regrets at all. Mike destroyed my credit and my sense of security. He deserved everything that happened to him. Her voice got stronger. And you know what? Saying that out loud felt really good. I spent so long feeling guilty. Like maybe I was too harsh or maybe I should have given him another chance. But I'm done with that. He made his choices, I made mine. And I'm better off for it. Good for you, Vanessa. Seriously. I called to thank you. For standing up that day at the restaurant. For calling him out. If you hadn't done that, I'd probably still be married to him. Still covering his debts. Still making excuses for him. She took a shaky breath. You saved me from wasting more years on someone who didn't deserve them. That conversation stuck with me. Because that's the thing about standing up to people like Mike. You're not just protecting yourself. You're protecting everyone else who might have crossed his path. Every person who didn't have to lend him money they'd never get back. Every person who didn't have to split a bill that wasn't fair. Every person who didn't have to deal with his manipulation. We stopped that cycle. And yeah, Mike's life is harder now because of it. But whose fault is that really? He could have been a good friend. Could have paid for his own meals. Could have paid back money he borrowed. Could have been honest with the people who trusted him. He chose not to do any of that. So here we are. Talia got married last month. Beautiful ceremony at a vineyard upstate. She invited me, Jason, Derek, and Brandon. We all went. During the reception, she pulled us aside. I wanted to thank you guys, she said, for exposing Mike. I know I was only with him for 3 weeks, but if you hadn't stopped him when you did, I might have stayed longer. Might have let him do more damage. You deserve better than that, Jason said. I know that now, but I didn't know it then. She looked at her new husband across the room, laughing with his groomsmen. I almost let Mike convince me that what he did wasn't that bad, that I was overreacting, that friends help each other and I should have just trusted him. She shook her head. If I'd stayed with him, I never would have been ready for something real when it came along. We all raised our glasses to that. Later that night, Derek admitted something to me. I still feel guilty sometimes, he said. We were outside the reception venue, getting some air. Like I brought Mike into the group and he ended up hurting everyone. That's not on you. You didn't know? But I should have seen it sooner. The signs were there. The way he always ordered more expensive stuff. The way he never had cash on him. The way he'd always have some excuse for why he couldn't pay someone back. We all missed those signs. We wanted to believe he was just going through a rough patch. When does being a good friend turn into being an enabler? Derek asked. That's the question, isn't it? I think it's when you start making excuses for someone instead of holding them accountable, I said. When you start pretending their behavior is okay because calling it out would be uncomfortable. Derek nodded slowly. I kept telling myself that Mike would get better, that he just needed time, that he was going through stuff. Maybe he was, but that doesn't excuse what he did. No, it doesn't. Derek looked at me. Thanks for calling him out that day. I should have done it months earlier. We all should have, but we didn't. We waited until the situation forced our hands. That's how these things usually go, isn't it? You tolerate small boundary violations until they build up into something bigger, something you can't ignore anymore. And then you have to make a choice. Keep tolerating it, or finally say enough. We said enough, and I don't regret it. Not even a little bit. The Monday after Talia's wedding, I got an email from Samson. Subject line, update on Mike. I almost didn't open it. I was done thinking about Mike. Done letting him take up space in my head. But curiosity won out. Hey, hope this finds you well. Wanted to let you know that Mike called me collect from prison last week. First time he's reached out in over a year. He wanted money on his commissary account. Said he was being treated badly by other inmates and needed funds for basic supplies. I told him no. He started yelling at me, called me a traitor, said our parents would be ashamed of me. I hung up. He's called 3 more times. I've blocked the number. Just wanted to warn you in case he tries to reach out to you or the others. He's clearly not in a good headspace. Stay safe. Samson. I forwarded the email to Jason, Derek, and Brandon. Jason's response, classic Mike. Nothing changes. Derek's response, damn. Was hoping prison would help him. Brandon's response, some people don't want help. They just want enablers. Brandon was right. Mike had every opportunity to change. Multiple therapists, support programs, family members willing to help if he'd just admit he had a problem. He rejected all of it because accepting help meant accepting responsibility. And Mike's entire identity was built on being the victim. If he admitted he'd done wrong, if he acknowledged that his choices led to his consequences, He'd have to face the reality that he'd wasted years of his life hurting people who cared about him. That's too much for some people to handle. So they double down instead. Blame everyone else. Rewrite history to make themselves the hero. Mike's going to die believing he was wronged by the world, and there's nothing any of us can do about that. Paula asked me about Mike the other night. We were cooking dinner together, one of our new routines. I was chopping vegetables. She was handling the pasta. "Do you ever worry he'll come after you when he gets out?" she asked. "Sometimes, less than I used to." I scraped the vegetables into the pan. He's got another 1.5 years inside. A lot can happen in that time. But what if he does? What if he shows up? Then we call the police. He's got a restraining order. If he violates it, he goes straight back to jail. That doesn't make me feel better. I put down the knife and looked at her. "You want the truth? I'm not scared of Mike. He's all talk. The threatening notes, the flat tires, the midnight visit to Jason's apartment. That's all he's got. Empty threats and petty vandalism. He stalked you. He tried to intimidate me. There's a difference." I went back to chopping. Mike's whole thing is manipulation, making people feel bad for him so they'll give him what he wants, or making people scared of him so they'll back down. But when he actually faces consequences, when someone stands up to him, he folds every time. You sound very sure about that. I watched him fold in court, multiple times. I watched him try to play victim and fail because the evidence was overwhelming. Mike's not some criminal mastermind. He's just a guy who never learned to take responsibility for his actions. Paula was quiet for a moment. "I guess I just don't understand how someone gets like that." Me neither. But it's not my job to understand it. It's my job to protect myself and the people I care about from it. She kissed my cheek. "You're very wise." I'm very tired is what I am. Mike took up way too much energy for way too long, and that's the truth of it. People like Mike are exhausting. They drain your emotional resources. They make you question yourself. They turn simple situations into complicated drama. The best thing you can do is remove them from your life as quickly and completely as possible, which is exactly what we did. Last week, I ran into Jason at a coffee shop. Neither of us had planned to meet up, just a coincidence. We grabbed a table and caught up. He told me about his new girlfriend, about his promotion at work, about his plans to buy a house next year. Normal stuff, good stuff. As we were leaving, he stopped me in the parking lot. "Can I tell you something?" he asked. "Sure. That day at the steakhouse, when you asked for separate checks, that changed my life." I laughed. "That's a bit dramatic." "No, seriously. I'd been letting people take advantage of me my whole life. Friends, co-workers, even family members. I'd just go along with whatever because I didn't want conflict." He looked embarrassed. "I lent my cousin $5,000 a few years ago. Never saw it again. Didn't even ask for it back because I felt like it would make things awkward." "Jason, but watching you stand up to Mike that day, watching you call him out in front of everyone without apologizing for it, that showed me it was possible." He met my eyes. "I've started setting boundaries in other areas of my life, telling people no when they ask for money, refusing to work late when it's not my responsibility, standing up for myself. That's great, man. It's all because of you, because you showed me it was okay to speak up when something wasn't right." We hugged and went our separate ways. But that conversation stayed with me, because that's the ripple effect, right? When you stand up to one person, you give other people permission to do the same. Maybe Derek started saying no to people who took advantage of him. Maybe Brandon stopped letting friends guilt him into things he didn't want to do. Maybe Vanessa learned to spot red flags earlier in relationships. Maybe Talia developed better boundaries with the people in her life. All because one day, at a steakhouse lunch, I decided I was done enabling someone's bad behavior. That's kind of beautiful when you think about it. One small act of boundary setting can change multiple lives. And not just the person you're setting boundaries with. Everyone who witnesses it. Everyone who hears the story. Everyone who realizes they don't have to put up with being treated poorly just to keep the peace. So yeah, Mike ruined his own life with his choices. But maybe, in a weird way, he helped improve ours. By being such an obvious example of what not to tolerate. By pushing us to our breaking point so we'd finally stand up. By showing us that consequences aren't cruel, they're necessary. I don't thank him for that. He doesn't deserve thanks. But I acknowledge it, and I move forward. With better boundaries, stronger relationships, a clearer sense of what I will and won't accept from people. That's Mike's legacy, I guess. Not the theft or the manipulation or the lies, but the lesson he taught us all about standing up for ourselves, even if he never intended to teach it. 3 days ago, I got a notification on LinkedIn. Someone had viewed my profile. The username was just a string of random letters and numbers. No photo, no information. Created that same day. Could have been anyone. Probably was no one important. but something about it felt off. I checked Jason's LinkedIn. Same fake account had viewed his profile. Derek's too, and Brandon's. I called Officer Rains. Mike's still in prison, she confirmed after checking. He doesn't have computer access except for the law library, and that's monitored. He can't create LinkedIn accounts from inside. So who's looking at our profiles? Could be anyone. Could be Mike's girlfriend, though I thought she dumped him. Could be a friend of his. Could be completely unrelated. She paused. Are you getting threats? No, just the profile views. Then there's nothing I can do. It's not illegal to look at someone's public LinkedIn profile. She was right, but it still felt wrong. I made my profile private, told the others to do the same. The fake account didn't view us again. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was Mike's last attempt at intimidation from behind bars. Either way, we're prepared. Cameras on our cars, security systems at our homes. Each other's backs watched. Mike taught us to be cautious, to trust our instincts, to document everything. Those are good lessons, even if they came from a bad source. And honestly, I'm okay with being a little paranoid if it means I'm safe. Better paranoid than sorry. The friend group's planning a trip this summer. Weekend camping trip upstate. Already made the reservations. We're splitting the costs evenly this time, but we all know everyone will actually pay their share because we only keep people in our circle who've proven they're trustworthy. No more Mikes, no more users. No more people who see friendship as a transaction they can win. Just people who show up, pay their own way, and genuinely care about each other. That's all you can really ask for. And you know what? It's enough. More than enough. It's everything. Then it was. Until about 4 months ago when everything changed again. I was at work when my phone rang. Unknown number with a local area code. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. Is this about Mike? I asked, assuming it was another reporter or someone from his past calling to compare notes. No, this is Laura Mendez from County General Hospital. I'm calling because you're listed as an emergency contact for Derek Paulson. My blood ran cold. What happened? Mr. Paulson was brought in about an hour ago. He's been in an accident. You should come to the hospital as soon as possible. I was in my car 5 minutes later. The hospital was 20 minutes away. I called Jason on the drive. He was already on his way. Brandon, too. When I got to the emergency room, Jason was already there pacing in the waiting area. His face was pale. What happened? I asked. Car accident. Someone ran him off the road. Jesus. Is he okay? They're working on him now. Broken arm, possible concussion, lot of bruises. Could have been worse. How'd it happen? Jason looked at me. Really looked at me. Derek said it was a black Honda. Beat up. 200,000 miles on it. My stomach dropped. Mike's car. We don't know that for sure. Derek described Mike's exact car. Come on. Brandon arrived 10 minutes later. We all sat in the uncomfortable waiting room chairs watching nurses and doctors rush past. A doctor came out an hour later. Derek had a broken arm, fractured in 2 places. Moderate concussion, lots of bruising and swelling. But he'd be okay. They were keeping him overnight for observation. We could see him in a few minutes. When they finally let us back, Derek looked rough. His left arm was in a cast. Face was swollen on one side. He had a cut above his eyebrow that had been stitched. Tell me it wasn't Mike, I said. Derek closed his eyes. It was him. You're sure? He pulled up next to me at a red light, looked right at me. Then when the light turned green, he swerved into my lane and forced me off the road into a ditch. Derek's voice shook. He drove off while I was trying to get my seatbelt off. Didn't even stop. Jason was already on his phone calling Officer Rains. She showed up at the hospital 30 minutes later with another officer, took Derek's statement, got the description of the car, asked if Derek could identify Mike in a lineup. He's still in prison, Officer Rains said. I verified it before I came here. He's locked up. Has been this whole time. Then who did Derek see? Brandon asked. Could be someone who looks like him. Could be Derek's concussion affecting his memory. Could be someone driving a similar car. Or it could be someone Mike knows, I said. Someone he got to do his dirty work. Officer Rains nodded slowly. That's possible. We'll investigate. Check traffic cameras near where the accident happened. See if we can get a plate number on the Honda. They found the car 2 days later. Abandoned in a parking garage downtown. Plates didn't match. Registration came back to a car that had been junked 3 years ago. But they ran the VIN. It was Mike's car, the one Sampson had given him, which meant someone had been driving Mike's car with fake plates. Someone who knew Derek. Someone who knew where to find him. Officer Rains came to my apartment to tell me in person. We're treating this as attempted vehicular assault, she said. Possibly connected to Mike Cordero, though we can't prove that yet. Who else would it be? We're looking into Mike's known associates. People he was close with before prison. People who might visit him inside. She pulled out a notebook. Does the name Vince Tarallo mean anything to you? No. He's Mike's cousin. Been visiting Mike in prison twice a month since he got locked up. We brought him in for questioning this morning. And? He lawyered up immediately. Wouldn't answer anything. Officer Raines put the notebook away. But his car was in the shop the day of Derek's accident. Transmission problems. So he would have needed to borrow a vehicle. Mike's vehicle. Possibly. We're checking security footage from the garage where the car was found. Seeing if we can get an ID on whoever abandoned it. It took another week, but they got him. Vince Tarallo on security camera footage wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses, getting out of Mike's black Honda and walking away. Got into another car that was waiting. They traced that car to Vince's girlfriend. Vince was arrested, charged with assault with a deadly weapon and leaving the scene of an accident. At his arraignment, his lawyer tried to argue that there was no proof Vince was the one driving when Derek got run off the road. Only proof that he abandoned the car afterward. Prosecutor argued that the combination of Vince's connection to Mike, his borrowing of Mike's car, the fake plates, and his abandonment of the vehicle in a parking garage showed clear intent and consciousness of guilt. Judge agreed. Bail was set at $100,000. Vince couldn't pay it. Mike was brought in for questioning too. Officer Raines told me he denied everything, said Vince must have taken the car without permission, said he had no idea why Vince would go after Derek. He's lying, I said. Probably, but we can't prove he orchestrated it unless Vince flips on him. Vince didn't flip. Stayed loyal to his cousin. Took a plea deal. 3 years in prison. But here's the thing that kept me up at night. Mike still had 14 months left on his sentence, and now we knew he had people on the outside willing to hurt us for him. Who else was on that list? How many other cousins or friends or people Mike had manipulated would come after us? Derek started carrying pepper spray. Jason bought a gun and got his concealed carry permit. Brandon moved to a gated apartment complex. I installed a full security system at my place. Cameras everywhere, motion sensors, alerts sent directly to my phone if anything triggered. Paula wanted to move, said she didn't feel safe. We can't let Mike control our lives, I said. He already is. We're living like we're in witness protection. She had a point. That's when I made a decision. I called a lawyer, not Joan, my divorce lawyer. A different kind. One who specialized in restraining orders and harassment cases. Her name was Tessa Byrne. She was in her 50s, gray hair cut short, sharp eyes that missed nothing. I laid out everything. The original fraud case, Mike's imprisonment, his release and rearrest, the threats, the stalking, the slashed tires. Now Derek's accident. You want a permanent restraining order, Tessa said. Can we get one? Against Mike? Yes, easily. He's demonstrated a clear pattern of harassment and escalating violence. Against his associates? That's harder. We'd need to prove they're acting on his behalf. Can we try? We can try. Tessa filed the paperwork. Hearing was set for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, Mike's prison sentence was extended. The prosecutor successfully argued that Mike had orchestrated the attack on Derek from inside prison, even if they couldn't prove it beyond reasonable doubt in criminal court. The parole board agreed it showed continued danger to public safety. Mike's earliest possible release date got pushed back another 3 years. 9 years total now since that lunch at the steakhouse. 9 years, and Mike was still finding ways to hurt people. The hearing for the permanent restraining order came. Derek testified about the accident. Jason testified about the midnight door banging incident from years ago. I testified about the workplace harassment and the threatening notes. Mike's public defender argued that Mike was in prison and therefore couldn't possibly be harassing us anymore. Argued that we were trying to extend punishment beyond what the court had already ordered. Tessa destroyed that argument in about 3 minutes. She walked the judge through the timeline, the threats, the escalation, the fact that Mike's cousin had been willing to commit vehicular assault on Mike's behalf, the pattern of Mike using other people to avoid consequences. My clients have spent years looking over their shoulders, Tessa said. They've installed security systems, changed their routes to work. One of them was physically injured in an attack we believe was orchestrated by Mr. Cordero from prison. They deserve the peace of mind that comes with a permanent order of protection. The judge granted it. Permanent restraining order. 1,000 feet at all times. No contact, direct or indirect. Any violation would result in immediate arrest and additional charges. The order also specifically named Vince Tarallo and any other known associates of Mike's who'd been identified as potentially hostile. When we left the courthouse, Derek looked like he might cry. "Is it really over?" he asked. "It's over," Tessa said. But it wasn't. Not quite. 2 months after the restraining order was granted, I got a call from Sampson. "Mike tried to call me collect again," he said. I didn't accept the call, but he left a message with the prison operator. What did it say? He wanted me to know that restraining order doesn't mean anything, that he's got friends I don't know about, that when he gets out he'll make sure everyone who crossed him pays. Samson, you need to report that. I did. Called the warden's office. They're investigating. Might add time to his sentence if they can verify he made threats. They did verify it. The operator confirmed the message. Mike got another 6 months added to his sentence and lost phone privileges for a year. He filed an appeal. Said his rights were being violated. Said he was being punished for protected speech. Appeal was denied. Mike's now scheduled for release in 8 years, assuming perfect behavior. He'll be 47 years old. Almost a decade lost to the consequences of his own choices. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. Not even a little. Derek's arm healed, but he's got a scar now. A permanent reminder of Mike's vindictiveness. Jason still has nightmares sometimes about someone breaking into his apartment. Vanessa's credit finally recovered fully last year, but she's still cautious about money in a way she wasn't before. Talia developed anxiety about getting into cars with people she doesn't know well. Mike damaged all of us, some more than others, all in ways that will stick with us. But we survived it, and we're better at protecting ourselves now, better at recognizing red flags, better at setting boundaries, better at saying no when something doesn't feel right. Those are valuable skills even if we wish we'd learned them differently. The friend group still meets regularly. We've added some new people, all of them thoroughly vetted, though we try not to be paranoid about it. But we pay attention now, to patterns of behavior, to how people treat others, to whether they take responsibility for their actions or always find someone else to blame. We pay attention because Mike taught us what happens when you don't. Paola and I got engaged last month. She understands the Mike situation, understands why I'm careful about who I trust, understands why I have cameras and sensors and emergency plans. She doesn't think it's crazy. She thinks it's smart. That's how I know she's the right person. Someone who gets it, who respects boundaries, who doesn't ask me to lower my guard for the sake of being less paranoid. We're planning a small wedding, just family and close friends. The friend group will be there, of course. Derek's going to be one of my groomsmen. Jason, too. Brandon's reading during the ceremony. It's funny how something so negative created such strong bonds between us. We went through something together, something that tested us, forced us to stand up for ourselves and each other, and we came out stronger. That's worth something, maybe worth everything. Last week I was cleaning out old files and found the receipt from that steakhouse lunch, the one where I first called out Mike's behavior. My prime rib cost $32. With tax and tip, my total was probably around $40. That's what started all of this. Well, not really. Mike's choices started all of this. His pattern of taking advantage, his refusal to take responsibility. But that $40 lunch was the moment I decided to stop enabling it. And that decision rippled out into years of consequences. For Mike. For all of us. I keep the receipt in my desk drawer now. A reminder, not of Mike. I'm done giving him space in my head. A reminder of my own strength, my own willingness to speak up even when it's uncomfortable. My own understanding that sometimes the right thing is also the hard thing. And I'll keep doing the hard thing. Keep setting boundaries. Keep protecting the people I care about. Keep refusing to enable bad behavior, because that's what good people do. They stand up. They speak out. They face the discomfort and the backlash and the consequences. And they sleep well at night knowing they did what was right. That's my story. It started with a moocher at a restaurant. It became something much bigger. A lesson in boundaries, in consequences, in the importance of standing up for yourself even when it would be easier not to. Mike's in prison. Will be for a long time. I'm engaged to someone I love. Surrounded by friends who have my back. Building a life I'm proud of. So who really won? I think the answer's pretty clear. Yesterday, Derek texted the group chat with a photo. Him standing in front of a new house he just bought. Big smile on his face. His girlfriend standing next to him. New chapter, the text said. Jason replied with champagne emojis. Brandon sent congratulations. I called Derek directly. Man, that's amazing, I said. Couldn't have done it without you guys, Derek said. After everything with Mike, I realized I'd been living small, playing it safe, not taking risks because I was always worried about other people taking advantage. And now? Now I know how to spot the users, how to protect myself, how to build something good with people I trust. He paused. That accident could have killed me. Mike's cousin could have ended everything. But instead, it just made me more determined to live the life I want. We talked for another 20 minutes. About the house, about his plans, about the wedding coming up. When we hung up, I looked around my own apartment, at the security cameras I'd installed, at the motion sensors, at all the ways I'd protected myself from Mike's reach. And I realized something. I wasn't scared anymore. For years, Mike had this power over me, this presence in the back of my mind, always wondering when the next threat would come, when the next incident would happen. But I wasn't wondering anymore. Mike was locked up. His associates were locked up. The restraining order was permanent. And even if something did happen, I was prepared. We all were. That's the real victory. Not that Mike's in prison. Not that we exposed him. Not that his life fell apart. The real victory is that we took our power back. We stopped being victims, stopped being marks, stopped being people who could be taken advantage of. We became people who stood up for ourselves. And that's something Mike can never take away. No matter how many letters he sends, no matter how many threats he makes from behind bars, no matter how long he stays angry about the consequences of his own actions. We won, and we'll keep winning. Every day we live without fear. Every boundary we set. Every time we choose ourselves over making someone else comfortable. That's winning. And it started with a $40 lunch and a decision to speak up. Best $40 I ever spent.